Hey, we are going to look at the main riffs from Sweet Home Alabama by Lynyrd Skynyrd. And we're going to start off with that iconic intro riff. Down at this end. So we're going to put our first finger on the second fret of the G string and our third finger on the third fret of the B string. For the first bit of the riff, we're dealing with the D, G and B strings, and we're thinking of the chord as a D5. Now, we play the D string twice. We've got a bit of palm muting going on, so this kind of soft cushion side of the palm is just gently resting on the strings. Hopefully you can hear if there's no palm muting. If there's some palm muting, just ever so slightly controls the vibration of the string. We don't want to completely mute it. We want 2 plucks of the D, and then the B string followed by the G string. That's what we get. And then we go to the A string, and we play 0303. When I went down to play the A string with the third fret, my first finger lifted off. We don't need that one there. So we had... Once we've done 0303, we pick the B string and then the G string again. Now the first finger's not on the G string that time. So from the top. And again. Then we come down to the low E string and we do 0303 on that one with the second finger for the freeze. Everything up to there. At the end we catch the, on the record I think it's just the G string. I think it's okay to catch the G and D and G together, whichever you prefer. I'll show you each one. That was the D and the G together, this time just the G. It's not quite as thick and full with just the G. Anyway, everything so far. 1, 2, 3, 4, and... There we go. Then we get this little fill at the end there. I'll put it in context, then break it down. So, we've got this little... Now you'll notice it was all at the second fret and zeros, and it's the index finger taking care of that. So we hammer on the A string 0 to 2, then play the open D, then play a 2 to 0 pull off on the D. So O2 on the A, O on the D, 2 0 pull off on the D, 2 on the A, and then we skip over to the G. And we do a 2 to 0 pull off. We've got slowly. The rhythm's very particular there. A string, O2, D string O, 2 to 0 on the D string, 2 on the A string, 2 to 0 on the G string, pull off. In context. Back into the main riff. There we go. Now, once we've done that fill, we go back to D with the B string. 0303, 0303, catch the G again. So it's the same thing we played the first time before. This time we've got... And then we get this different fill at the end, we go O to O on the G. O to O. Now you can pull off the 2 to the O. In fact, I thoroughly recommend it. After the O to O, we play another O, and then a 4 to 0 pull off. I'm getting the 2 with the first finger, the 4 with the third finger. And then we catch the D string before we play the 5th fret, but we bend up the 5th fret note a tone or 2 frets. So when we play it, we're bending up to the note we hear if we play the 7th fret of the G. Okay? That's what we're going for. Now, the bend there, I'm fretting the note with the 3rd finger, but these 2 are helping out behind and are pushing the string with that 3rd finger, and we're pivoting as much as we can around the fulcrum. I've got this base of the index finger kind of on the side of the fingerboard there. Oh, we got that going on, this motion. It's not just 3rd finger on its own bravely, that's hard work. That's what we've got. So we've got that is our intro riff and the basis for our verse. Okay, after we've had our intro, the next kind of defining part is the... And we'll break that down. Now, we're going to take our index finger up to the 7th fret. On the A string, we're going to play 7, 8, 9. Then we're going to play with our first finger across the D, G and B strings, the 7th fret. It's basically a D major. We're playing that portion of a D major chord there in that A shape at the 5th fret with the first finger. So we pick the A string 7, 8, 9, then we grab 7 on the D, 7 on the G, 7 on the B with the first finger and come back and get the 3rd finger to play the 9th fret of the A. We hit those 7s on the D, G and B twice. That's what we've got going on there. You slide out of the 9, but don't slide past the 5th fret because we're going to do almost the same move at the 5th fret. This time, rather than picking on the A string, which is now 5, 6, 7, we hammer on before we grab 5 on the D, G and B. And we come back and grab 7. So we've gone... Slightly different as well. And we slide down to grab 1 to 2 on the A, a slide. After we've landed on 2, we keep that pressed down and catch D, G, and then some sort of G, whether it's the full chord or just a little portion of it. So we've got... Yeah, we do it twice. Okay, isolate those small portions. And then, don't forget the slide down. And then, on the record, when it's time to grab a G, somebody in the final instance grabs the harmonics at the D, G and B over the 12th fret, directly over the fret wire, so you get that thing going on. Okay, let's talk about the verse. It's a bit simpler, very similar to the intro, slightly stripped back. Probably because the guitarist that started off with that kind of is now singing, so we need things a little bit easier, and it works well because it doesn't get in the way of the vocal. We get D, and then a little fill happens now and again. We'll come to the fill in a moment. So it's the 3rd fret of the B string with the ring finger, and the first finger's on the second fret of the G. We strum the root note twice, so D, D, and then the rest of the chords, which is the D string, G string, and B string. Now, my index finger is kind of muting the high E string, so if I'm a bit giddy, a bit excited, and accidentally strum through that, it's muted anyway. And then we go to the C. It's not a C like this one, it's this C sus2. So, and then the second finger goes down on the A string 3rd fret, and the first finger comes off to give us an open G. So we've got 3 on the A, open D, open G, 3rd on the B. Nothing on the high E. Try and mute it. On the A, on the C string, we play the A, let me start that again. On the C chord, or C sus2, we play the A string twice, and then strum the rest of it, the middle 4 strings. So we've gone D, 5, C sus2, then we come down to the G5, 2nd finger going on the 3rd fret of the low E. So we've gone. And every other time we get a fill that goes. So it's O2 on the A, D, open, G, open, 0 to 2 hammer on the A. So we're catching the G twice there actually, aren't we? It's O2 on the A, open D, open G, G, hammer on O2. So in context. That's it. O2, D, G, G, O2. So. Sorry, that's the one. So D, C, G. And then back into the chords. Now the second time, we just do our move on the G twice, so it gets. Third time, we play the fill. Okay, so it's important we know the difference between the fills we've got in the verse, the normal one, that one, and then the one that precedes the chorus, just the once. Now go back and watch that, slow the YouTube video down if you need to. I'm just going to play slowly through the verse and talk you through when we put the fills in. So, first time gets a fill. And it's this one. And then back to the D. Stay on the G, no fill. This time there is a fill. No fill. Last time, chorus fill, which was, so O2, OG, that one. Sorry. It's confusing me, man, breaking it down. That's what we've got going on. O2, O, G, 2-0 pull off on the D, O2 hammer on. So the last time will be that thing. Alright, then we're into the chorus. The chorus, we get this. That kind of figure going on. Now, you can and you may see people playing it up in this part of the neck. That kind of classic rock and roll figure. Because we've got these fills down in the open position, we're going to use these chords, but we're going to grab them down here. Much easier. So first finger, second fret of the G. And at the same time, you're going to hit the open D. And we're going to strike the open D and the G string at the second fret twice. And then we're going to add on our third finger at the 4th fret of the G. And we're still going to strike the D and the G. Notice how my first finger's still pressed down on the 2, but my third finger's kind of overriding it by being at 3. So we've gone, we hit it once at 4, and then we lift it off and play D and G again with it still at 2. So we've got that going on. That's our D figure. And then we come down for C. We don't need to worry about the third finger going on the B string. We're just going to kind of focus on the A string, D string and G strings for our C. I'll show you what we'll do first. So we're going to hit the 3rd fret of the A string with the 2nd finger. The D can be open, but if you're muting it with your 2nd finger, that's okay. And the G string will be open. And we hit through the A, D and G twice with an open G. Then we put the 1st finger down at the 2nd fret. So we get, and it's once down and then again off. So 4 hits all together. So far we've gone. And then we move our 2nd finger down to the 3rd fret of the low E. And this time we're hitting the A low E. The A can be muted by the flesh of the 2nd finger, an open D, and if you can get it, the G. So we're getting, and on the 3rd attack, the 1st finger goes down on the 2nd fret of the D. So now we've got, so we've gone for the D, and then for the C, and then for the G. So D, C, G. Okay, now we're always adding on the 6th, so that is a root and a 5th, and that note is the 6th. So it's root and 5th, root and 6th, back to the root and 5th. I'm talking about the root of the chord, so D, and the 5th. The 5th interval from the parent major scale. In the case of D, that's A. Think of that as a kind of Star Wars interval. There. That bit. The gap between those two notes is a 5th, and the same here. Okay, now when I do this, it's a 6th. That's a classic rock and roll move. It's the same as, they're all 5ths and then 6ths. Don't worry too much if that's not interesting to you. It's kind of interesting, I think it's really cool, but don't worry if you don't. Just kind of get the part down. Now we're going to go our first fill. So it's D, C, G. Now that fill is O2 hammer on the A, O2 hammer on the D, pull off to D. And then 3 on the A with a little bluesy bend. So O2 on the A, O2, O on the D with a hammer on to the 2, pull off back to the 0, 3. With a little bluesy microtonal bend. That thing. So the whole thing. Now the second time round, we don't go to the G, instead we go. Now that fill is O2 hammer on the D, open G. That's 3 notes, O2 hammer on the D, open G. And you do it 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that time round is. Then back into it. The third time round, it's the same fill as the first. The order of the fills, first time through we get this one. Second time through, don't go to the G. Third time, third time is the same as the first time. Then we get D, C, to finish. So this time, the fourth and final time, D, a C, G, and it's after the G, it's F, C. C's how we always do it, down at this end, third fret of the A, second fret of the D, open G, first fret of the B, high E. The F, we've got some options. We could do this voicing, which is really nice. Thumb over the low E string, first fret, third finger on the third fret of the A for a C, pinky getting us another F on the third fret of the D, open G, and then the first finger is across the first fret of the B and the first fret of the high E. So that's an F. It's an F add 2 kind of thing, because it's got that G in there. F to C. To make it a bit easier, you could take your 6-string bar chord, first fret bar with the first finger, second finger on the second fret of the G, third finger on the third fret of the D, pinky on the third finger on the third fret of the A, pinky on the third fret of the D, F, C. If you're not quite up to bar chord yet, don't worry, you can do an F like this. Third finger on the third fret of the D, second finger on the second fret of the G, and the first finger on the first fret of the B. So it would be C. That's our chorus. Let's play it once through nice and slowly so you can catch those fills. And there's our chorus. I hope you've enjoyed having a look at the 4 main riffs from Sweet Home Alabama. There's some really tasty classic rock vocabulary in there. It sounds great on electric guitar obviously, but it can work too on acoustic guitar. So do stick with it if you're finding any bit or all of it a bit challenging, because it's really worth having in your vocabulary basically. If you like the video, please subscribe to our channel, check out some of our other kind of uploads, and enjoy!